Hello. I'm underneath a really cool tree. I put my hair up in little twirly things on top of my head for my friend's wedding over Zoom. She got married in Burlington, Vermont to her boyfriend, well, turned fiance, turned husband, all in the matter of a few weeks. That just happened, and he's from Montreal, well, from Canada, but he lives in Montreal. So they'd had a long distance relationship, but then it had to change because of COVID, so they just couldn't see each other. And now they just got married, and I got to be at the wedding from the comfort of my own office / music studio from my laptop. And my hair was up, so that's why it's curly now. So I put it in the pigtails from the things that it was up in. I don't know. Now I just went to Staples to get printer ink so I could make my handmade discs for the people who ordered them. Because at midnight, last night, I released Upward, Quarantine Dream. So it's all released. People have listened. Maddie Jackson said a really nice thing that made my day on my Instagram. I'm going to put it on my website, I think, as a review. Oh, Maddie, let me know if that's okay. And then, yeah. So now I'm coming back from Staples where I got a new planner so that I'd be inspired to organize my students a little better. And it's a really pretty planner. And I got printer ink, which I really needed to make those handmade discs. And some new pens, because I needed more pens, because I always need more pens. And then I went on a little journal rampage, like a spree, and I bought a bunch of journals because I had been using up journals that I found in my old boxes of journals from like a decade ago, and I had like ripped out some pages if there were pages left, and if they were like ones I didn't really use. And then, so I've been using like scrappy old journals or like notebooks from Dollar Tree, and I was like, in the beginning of the quarantine era, I did order some journals from like Barnes & Noble and other stores that I like to support. Some really like small stores like out of Portland. And then those ran out because I'm journaling a lot more lately. And it's really great. It's really good for me to journal because then I do this a little bit less. And I'm like in my head all the time anyway, but like, you know, I don't know. Journaling is really good for me. If you're gonna talk to yourself all day long, which I think most human beings are doing anyway, like check your thoughts. You're doing this right now too. You're thinking about me, you're thinking about what I'm saying, you're thinking about why you wanna sign off of this, or you're thinking about why this is great and why this helps you to watch someone just talk and be themselves. Or watch someone wear pigtails when they're an adult and they're on a bike ride and they're under a really cool tree and that inspires them to, I don't know, to just push record. Journals and, you know, planner, all that stuff. Anyway, oh my gosh, I'm like carrying so many things right now. I was supposed to go to the bank and deposit a check, but it was raining, and if I get caught in the rain with all these journals, I'll be pretty sad, so I should probably get going. That's a good motivator to not make this one too long. But I just want to say, be yourself. This is insanely, impractically weird. I'm standing between two people's houses. I'm standing on a sidewalk in front of people's houses, talking to myself, to my phone, because I really liked this tree. And trees, you know, I don't want to get all philosophical about our country right now versus native rights, but like, this tree looks very old. And like, the fact that land is something that, no, that was a weird angle. Also getting a lot of looks lately. I don't know, maybe quarantine has made me wear tight leggings and short shorts a lot more often. So, turning heads is a literal phrase. I get that a lot more than I had been. I used to get it all the time, and then I stopped. I don't know. That's a whole other long thing. I'm not going to put that in this video, but where was I going with that? I don't remember. Oh, this tree. Yeah, so like, I mean, if you come up to this tree and you're just walking by and you just see these ginormous leaves and part of you wants to just like take one home with you, and then you look up and you see all of that, and it's just like this magical little feeling of like, holy cow, what are these big giant leaves? I mean, it's just, I don't know, they're as big as my head. It makes me feel like an elephant is saying hello. Like, it's not, I'm not like a YouTuber who's like, it's not like that. It's not like, ooh, cool backdrop, let me turn on my phone. It's more like I'm just inspired by life all the time, and I just hate to miss out on things for reasons of that's not what we do. Like, that's weird to me. Why don't we do it? Like, why do you think we all spend so much money on garbage, or we waste so much of our lives zoning out? In my opinion, it's because when we are by ourselves and we feel inspired, we just drown that in food or alcohol or coffee or whatever. Like, we don't just let ourselves be inspired. Like, I've been trying to allow myself to like grow up and ungrow up. Just got whistled at. That was super weird. So I've been trying to like allow myself to grow up and stop aging, or Benjamin Button, you know, all that stuff. I've been trying to like allow myself, like, if I feel both my own age or even older, if I feel like a nun grandma and a 10-year-old, I think I am finally up to 10 in terms of arrested development, maybe even 12. But like, I just let myself do it now, because like, why not? Like, what? Like, why not? I'm serious, why not? Why not? I don't know. Maybe if I'm this weird and I keep putting it in your head, then the people who are holding back parts of themselves might stumble across my videos someday, and they'll just be incrementally a little bit more themselves, the weird versions of themselves, than they maybe otherwise would have. And then I'll be like, my job is done here. My hand is, that's me wiping my hands together. My other hand is holding my phone. My job is done. Okay, well, I've also really always liked these two little scrunchies because they match, like they're coordinated, but they're not the exact same. My hair looked way curlier when I was at home. My hair never looks curly, but it looked like, because it was up in those little twisty things and then I took them out, it looked super swirly and twirly. So anyway, there's really cute dogs everywhere right now. That is my tree check-in video. Thanks for watching, bye. Or wait, I don't want to say bye yet. I don't know why I said that. I have something else to say. Sometimes in the process of becoming ourselves, we shame ourselves for having not been more ourselves. So I just want to pass that on to you. If you can skip that step, no shame at all for the ways that you may continue to block yourself. We block ourselves because the world is a kind of judgmental, cruel, limiting, like bullies come from bullies, that kind of thing. Like if a kid is a bully, they learned it from an adult bully. And that adult bully learned it from an even older adult bully from probably back when they were a kid. So like, we're all passing on toxic systems, self included. And if we're all passing on toxic systems, then when you start to shed an aspect of a toxic system, you don't have to feel bad about that. Waking up doesn't have to make you feel guilty for being asleep. Waking up to any aspect of your life does not need to make you feel like, dang, I really wasted my life. You might feel that, and that's mourning, that's grieving. But you don't have to feel that. I mean, you might feel that, let me say that differently. You might have to feel that because it might be what you feel. Like, we have to feel what we feel. But we feel what we feel sometimes because of our thoughts. We feel what we feel all the times because of our thoughts. Like, no one's making you feel bad about something. They might be doing some crappy thing, and then you're choosing to think about it a certain way, and the way you're choosing to think about it, or it might be compulsive and you might not feel like you're in control because maybe you're really not, but that compulsive way of thinking about it is what's causing your pain, not really the person's crappy actions. So the way that I've started to heal a lot of things in my life is to change how I think about things. And I do have some huge stumbling blocks and some genuine like Achilles heels, multiple. And now, honestly, whether or not you think this is healthy, I don't care. I think this is healthy. Now I kind of stay away from those subjects. Sometimes I have to stay away from whole relationships. Like, I've had to leave certain people in my life and let them do their thing. And even if they continue to kind of, it feels like they're chasing me, sometimes they're chasing me because they want to be part of that same dynamic that we've had going, which is both of us just passing on our dysfunction to each other and kind of pinballing dysfunction back and forth. And you can tell when something's dysfunctional. Like, everybody can tell when something's dysfunctional. It's not rocket science. I don't know. I don't think we have to leave people over dysfunction, but we have to create systems. Like, we are half the puzzle. We're not victims. We are half the puzzle. And so if you are in toxic or dysfunctional patterns with people, you are half of that dysfunctional pattern. Even if you think you're the nicest person on the planet. I always thought I was the nicest person on the planet, but you know what? That was part of my dysfunction. Is I was desperate to be the nicest person on the planet. And in my desperation to be the nicest person on the planet, I kept getting into really toxic patterns of behavior with people. Because they would treat me a certain way, and then I would try to out-nice them. I wasn't trying, it wasn't conscious. I was just trying to respond to every request, even if the request was inappropriate. Or I was putting myself down in order to build them up and help them grow, and that's toxic. I shouldn't have been putting myself down for other people to feel bigger or better. And so if someone thinks they need that from me, that's their piece of it. But me being willing to do that is my piece of it. And until I was ready to start stopping being the nicest person on the planet, or seeing myself in my mind as someone who tries to be the nicest person on the planet. I was going to say seeing myself in my mind as someone who is the nicest person, but it's not about whether or not I am the nicest person on the planet, because I had all kinds of times where my ways of not being able to live up to my own standards made my personality not reconcile with who I really am, and so my actual behavior would come out sideways and be off from my own idea of myself, and that actually created a lot of problems. I have hair in my eyes and it's like sticking to my eyelids. Anyway, my point is, if you're someone who's really obsessed with being nice or being liked, like, these are just as toxic of qualities. They get praised in the world because they make people feel happy or comfortable or in control or like they're important. They do make certain people feel really good, but it's not healthy for you. It wasn't healthy for me to yield and yield and yield and yield. It's like playing that limbo game, you know, you're yielding and you're yielding and you're yielding and you're yielding, and eventually you're gonna snap. And then when you snap, it might be on the wrong person, or it might be disproportionate to the thing that caused you to snap, and either way, then you're not the nicest person, and then you might feel bad, and then you're dealing with guilt all the time, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that's my check-in. Don't be so hard on yourself. If you're not that nice, it might be because the world's not that nice. It might be because people have unrealistic expectations of you. You might be doing more than your share and pulling more than your weight, but because people have come to expect that from you, when you try to step back from it and do less, people might think you're being cold or mean or distant now, but actually you already maybe did more than enough, and it's time for other people to learn how to step up. So let other people step up. Focus on what gives you joy. For me, it's this, or it's writing songs, or it's going home with my journals and making handmade albums and handmade liner notes. I'm gonna handwrite all the lyrics and then make copies. Thank you, Eric, for buying. You were the first one to buy it online. And yeah, I look forward to making these handmade copies. Well, the first one's going to Brian, because this whole project, the whole reason I wanted to edit it is because he's done all this training in recording studios and has a very, very fine-tuned ear recording studio-wise. And I just really wanted him to listen to this record, and I really wanted it to be as beautiful as at least I know how to make it in my lo-fi way, which isn't pro quality, but it's something. So trying to find this gray area between completely lo-fi music where I just record it and then immediately release it, and this panicky pressure that I used to feel of like spending years on one album, because I write too many songs to do that now, and I don't enjoy that now. Saving everything and feeling like I can't release anything unless it's perfect. For other people, I think that works. It helps them craft something really intentionally. For me, that makes me feel backed up on all my songs, and then I can't flow. So, there you go. That's my check-in. Hope you are having a good day. I notice I'm starting to break out, but again, not a reason not to be myself. Not a reason not to put a camera in front of my face and talk about philosophical feelings and nature and how it's weird that we try to own things, and how I went and said hello to this tree and I touched it and I felt kind of bad because this little chunk of land belongs to someone else, and then I thought, they probably don't care. This isn't like right next to someone's house. I don't know. It's not like I'm hanging out on their yard. I'm just on the sidewalk. I was reflecting on putting 2 signs up in my yard. One, the one that says like kindness is everything and Black Lives Matter and women's rights and science is real and love is love. And then I thought of also putting up a sign like that. And then, well, not that specific place because that's a Catholic parish in town and I don't go there. Ooh, better view of the tree. So big! But, I don't know. I'm not trying to be controversial by what I believe, but I really do believe in God. I was reading the Bible last night. I don't go to a specific church right now, but I go to churches occasionally. And I also read Pema Chodron, a Buddhist nun, and I studied Taoism pretty extensively. And I follow some New Age things too, and it all helps me. I see the ways that they all connect and the way they all support each other. And that belief or philosophy is kind of unpopular on both sides, so that's okay. I really always wanted to be popular, I'm not gonna lie. That was like my life dream. But I'm just, I am what I am. And it's a lot more, maybe I'm more likable by just being myself than being desperate to be popular. Whatever. Middle school. I'm so scarred. Okay, bye.